The quiet but nice people have it the hardest. You could be the most kind, genuine, always there for your friend sort of person, but for some reason you just don't seem to have luck with friendships. You say hi to people, but you get ignored or get funny looks. You put yourself out there, but you just never seem to be lucky. When you do try to talk to people, you stutter and mess up your words. You try to be genuine, but you can never seem to fully be yourself. I know because I've been there. I know this situation all too well. And I've come to realize that it actually has nothing to do with you. It's all to do with your approach. The things you're thinking, the things influencing all your actions, which influences how you're showing up. So here's how to start a conversation with anyone. Hey, if you're new, I'm Christina and I make videos for people who are feeling lonely. If you're a people pleaser, overachiever, over anything out, you're in the right place. I have had my fair share of terrible conversations. Trust me when I say I know this situation all too well. I have been there, sat in the room, in the corner, trying to meet new people and say hi, and I literally just get completely ignored by the girls there. The recipe for a good conversation is for you to be comfortable with yourself. If you're comfortable, it will rub off on the other person and they'll also feel comfortable. If you are anxious, the other person will also feel anxious and it will rub off on them as well. The aim for a good conversation is not for you to come across as really funny or really interesting or really cool or for you to even prove yourself in any way. It's for you to be comfortable. When I think back to some of my conversations, I can't even believe how much I was trying to prove myself. Like, not even in just a friendship way, but in relationships as well. Like, there'd be first dates that I'd go on where I'd come ready, like having like notes of like what I want to talk about and how I want to talk about certain things so that I could like impress them. This is not America's Got Talent. Like, who are you impressing, Christina? Why are you trying to be something that you're not? Not even that I was trying to be something that I was not, but I was like putting on an act. Like, I was trying so hard. And no wonder I felt like things were a bit forced and people didn't really see the full me. I didn't really see the full them. Conversations never really went anywhere. And trust me, if you're the sort of person that's also nervous, kind of meeting new people, you're nervous, you don't know what to say, other people are more nervous than you think. Like, you're going into this thinking like everyone else has it figured out and everyone else feels totally okay and confident. There are people in the room that feel the exact same way as you, especially if you're watching this as like a student, young person, Gen Z. Like I feel like as Gen Z, we're really good at pretending like we're more confident than we actually are. People are really good at like hiding behind their phones and like strategically placing themselves in a certain location of the room, standing next to certain people to make themselves look like they're more confident and more like settled than they actually are. Meanwhile, you in your head, you've got your whole life's story to make you think that like you're the most lonely one in the room. You know your life story better than anyone else. You know what you've been through. You know how many times you've been ignored and been stood up or had like been ghosted. And you're stood there thinking like you're the one that has it the worst. Trust me, there's other people that are in the same boat, if not even in a worse off position. And with this being said, sometimes with that life story that you have, the messages that you keep telling yourself of how lonely you are and how you come across as boring, how you're not good enough, we cope with that in different ways. So I cope with that by being like I would isolate myself and like remove myself from a social situation so that I wouldn't be removed by other people. Like, you're not going to reject me. I'm just going to reject myself. I don't want to have some people look at me and be like, she's so weird. Like, why is she even here? I wouldn't even put myself in those settings to begin with. You might cope in a similar way. Maybe you make yourself feel small, or maybe I had a friend that would like overshare and trauma dump a lot. Like any time I'd meet this person, I'd have to like psych myself up because I was like, there is about to be a lot that's going to be dumped on me right now. Maybe you cope by being loud and taking control of the room. I would also like deflect and ask the other person questions. Like, I don't really want any attention on me. Like, what are you doing this weekend? Or where are you going on vacation? Like, I want as little attention as possible. Or maybe you judge people and you're overly critical. Not on purpose, but just because you're so critical of yourself. You're literally a perfectionist. You want to do everything right and everything perfect. And things should be done this way, so you're going to do it this way. So unintentionally, you're also really critical of other people too. The first step when it comes to how to have a good conversation with literally anyone is to give them a signal. Like I was saying earlier, people are a lot more shy and worried and nervous than you think. Just like you're in the room looking around, like, who's a safe person to speak to? Who can I say hi to? Other people are feeling that way as well. A good way to give people a signal that like you're a friendly, inviting person, like come say hi, I'm not gonna bite, is to maintain eye contact. What I used to do was I'd scan the room but not like look at people. I'd just be looking like at people. I wouldn't want to see them and make eye contact with them. I'd just be like glancing around really quickly and like scanning the room for who can I kind of like say hi to, who can I approach. You're going to be a lot more approachable too if you're not like glued to your phone. Like, I know it feels quite comforting and safe to literally just sit on your phone, scroll through Instagram, pretend like you're having things to do. But if you do want someone to come over and say hi, it's a lot more inviting if you're not on your phone. You're just kind of minding your own business, like staring up at the wall. Even if you were like, I don't know, reading a book or a magazine, that's slightly less intimidating than being something on your phone, and maybe you give someone a signal, don't be afraid to make the first move. Maybe you've already done that. Maybe you've already said hi to a few people. You faced the worst of it. You've had the rejections. You've had the people look at you and just walk away. Like, it can't get worse than that. I can't even count the amount of times I've said hi to someone, not really expecting anything of it, and the person is just immediately friendly, immediately starting conversation. It seems like they were waiting for me to say something. Like, the way that they're so chatty straight off the bat, I'm like, okay, like, you seem to have a lot of pent up energy. Like, maybe they were waiting for someone else to make the first move. Because my theory is, like, if you're always waiting for other people to kind of say hi, make the first move, step up, you're kind of putting your social life on the back foot. Like, you're waiting for your social life to happen to you rather than you taking charge of it. The next step is to make them feel interesting. And now this doesn't mean try and find out all the juicy little facts, all the tea, all the weird experiences that they've had. It's not a matter of like digging deep in them. It's more just anything that they bring up, literally appreciate it and acknowledge it for the fact that it is interesting. It could literally be the fact that like you're talking about Saltburn, or you're talking about like an Instagram reel that you've both seen and you both thought was funny. Like, one of my friends has a weird habit, like you'll talk about anything and they'll just like critique you. Like, they'll ask you questions and kind of like make you explain yourself. And each time I talk to this person, I'm kind of like, I don't feel like I want to bring up anything to you because I just always feel like I'm being critiqued. Like, anything I say, whether it's about me, something I watch, something I'm doing, it's always like, oh, but why though? Didn't you expect that to happen? Like, why did you do that if you didn't think that this was going to happen? And it's just like, let me be a normal person. Let me be a human being. Like, don't put the person in a position where they have to explain themselves, or like them mentioning something personal was a bad decision. They're now going to regret the fact that they opened up to you. Like, each time they do open up or share something interesting about them, like give them like a reward in a sense. You make them feel supported and you don't critique them for saying certain things. They're going to open up and want to talk to you even more. Because when I think about some of the good conversations that I've had, I always think of them as like, I was really welcomed by that person. Like, I was on a Zoom call the other day with someone that I connected with on LinkedIn, and we kind of like went on Zoom call, and I remember the person was asking about like my 5-year plan, and that is something I've not given much thought to for the longest time, because I'm very like I'm shifting away from the hardcore goal setting and overachieving vibe that I used to have, and I'm more just kind of like taking things slow, like going at my own pace. So when they asked about my 5-year plan, I was literally just thinking of it on the spot. Like, as it came from my mind, I was saying it because I haven't thought about it much. But I told this person my 5-year plan, and they were so like supportive of it, and I was like, oh, that is so nice. Like, and now this person in my mind they have a soft spot in my mind for being so welcoming to like my biggest dream now for my 5-year goal. Whereas I feel like some of my other friends, they might laugh at that as like such a really big goal. If you support people and you make them feel like supported, welcomed, they're going to love you for that, because I love that person for that. The next step is to find a common ground. It's inevitable that you might struggle in a conversation with someone that you have like literally nothing in common with. Like, you guys are in complete different opposite areas of life. You come from different parts of the country, maybe even the world. One of you loves TV, one of you hates TV, only ever reads books, loves keeping up to date with sports, the other one literally hates sports and never watches sports. With that being said, is try to find a common ground. Sometimes I think, even though sometimes people that you're opposite with, if you're both very comfortable with disagreeing and both very comfortable in your own identity, in your own interests, you can actually bond over the fact that you disagree over something. There's always going to be something that you guys do have in common. Maybe it's music, or maybe it's a mutual hatred for something. There's actually science to show that people are more likely to like have a strong bond with someone where they share a mutual hatred than a mutual liking for something. If you're trying to make friends with someone who absolutely loves Italian food, you're actually more likely to bond with someone who absolutely hates like Mexican food. I think sometimes you can have a really interesting conversation with someone that you like disagree with stuff on. Like, I have a friend where I was telling her, I literally, like, physically, I don't find men attractive. Like, I don't look at a guy and think, wow, like he's so attractive, he's this, he's like, for me to find a guy attractive, I have to talk to them and like find them actually funny and interesting and like a good person. Whereas my friend is the complete opposite of this. Like, she can't go out with someone unless she finds them attractive. She has to look at them and there has to be something there. Whereas for me, like, there is literally never anything there with like anyone that I look at. Like, I know it's weird, it's hard to describe, but you could literally look terrible. I would find them attractive if I talked to them and they were like super funny. Like, I'm one of those people. Anyway, so we disagree on this, but we still have really, really good combos and really like in-depth combos about this sort of topic of dating and preferences and like attraction and like how important is that. Sometimes I think you can actually have a better conversation when you do slightly disagree on something. So it's not something to like run away from. And when it comes to like the right thing to say, honestly, the right thing to say is the honest thing to say. Searching for the right thing to say in a conversation is going to make you go round in circles. No wonder you're always like kicking yourself and being really hard on yourself and like, oh, you're so boring. Like, why didn't you say this? And you come home hours later and you're like, oh, I should have said that. You will go round in circles, kicking yourself, not knowing what to say and being hard on yourself, because there is no right thing to say. When you're a perfectionist, you always give yourself the idea that like, you've got a weird vision of what perfect is and what you should be doing. Trust me, in reality, that you can't get to that. It just doesn't exist. It stays in your mind for a reason. It stays a fantasy for a reason because it's literally not real. In reality, you start to have the really good conversations. You start to be okay with walking into the room all by yourself when you realize that like there is no right thing to say. It's just honestly what I feel. Because think of it this way, say you were talking to someone else and giving them advice. Someone is really shy and feels a little bit like nervous to start conversation with people. If that person was telling you, yeah, I normally go into conversations with like some bullet points and, I kind of rehearse things before I go up to them. I plan out what I'm going to say to make sure that it all goes right. Wouldn't you look at them and be like, oh no, you don't need to plan or rehearse. Just be yourself. That's the advice you would give to someone else, but sometimes we can't take on that advice for ourselves. What I also think is sometimes in this specific problem where you're rehearsing things and worried about saying the wrong thing, your focus is very outward. Your focus on like how you're going to be perceived, what the other person is going to think. And I don't want this to sound like cringy, but you really need to shift your focus more inward, like focus more on yourself, be a bit more selfish in a weird way. You care so much about how you're coming across, and if you're impressing people enough, if you're interesting enough, you should care about yourself. Because when you care about yourself, it's actually a win-win. You're more comfortable, they're more comfortable, the conversation's better for everyone. But when you focus a little bit too much on them, then you're putting pressure on yourself. The other person feels that, the conversation doesn't flow as well, and then it doesn't really work out. The bottom line is your conversations and confidence will go through the roof and they'll improve when you take the pressure off of what's going to happen in the conversation. Like rehearsing, planning, like trying to be something that you're not, all has to stop for you to feel a little bit more reassured when you're going up to people. How to deal with people talking over you. This happens a lot, and I don't always think it has malicious intent. Sometimes it happens literally like now, like even as I'm a lot more confident, a lot more sure of myself. I think sometimes it's just like you talk at the wrong time. What I've noticed as well, this is a lot more likely to happen, like people talking over you when you're the sort of person that waits for everyone to finish. Like when you're waiting for a gap in the conversation to then talk. Other people also feel the same, and I think sometimes you just kind of like talk on top of each other. So when it's in like a genuine, non-malicious way, obviously don't take it personal. But when you can tell that someone in the group or in the room is like actually trying to like piss you off, I genuinely wouldn't take it too personally. Because I was saying this in my friends, enemies video, but sometimes people, they see you as an easy target and they'll see you as, the nice people-pleasing person that you put yourself across as, and they'll see you as an easy target to see how much can I walk over this girl? How far can I go before she will actually say something about it? It's really toxic to think about, but there's a lot of people like that. There's even, I've literally had friends that will kind of like ask you for things, get you to go out of your way, like spend money, spend time, drive, come and pick me up at this place, like spend a lot of effort to see, I think they're trying to see how far you'll go before it's too much and before they'll back away. They're not going to ask you, am I asking too much of you, or you've driven us this time, I'll drive us the next time. Like they're not going to volunteer niceness. They're going to see how far can I push this girl. And last, them liking you is not the prize. You liking yourself is the prize. It's easy to lose track of what the actual goal is when you're trying to come out of your socially anxious era. You want to actually be sure of yourself. You're sick of feeling like you're the awkward one and you never know what to say, and you're just always having to stand back in the corner of the room, watch all the fun happen while you're just there. It's easy to think the prize is other people liking you, other people finally including you. You're finally invited to the party. People are finally laughing at your jokes. They're finally like asking you for your opinion and you're included in the conversation. It's easy to think that is the prize, especially because you probably see elements of that on social media where people seem to be having a really thriving social life and going out with friends. So then when you have that, you'll be happy. Actually, you liking yourself is the prize. You feeling comfortable in your own skin. You walking into the room and thinking like, if I get along with no one, I still like myself at the end of the night. I don't need anyone to laugh at my jokes, to include me, to ask me my name. I don't need this approval to feel good about myself. That is the prize. Because somewhere along your journey, what happened for me is I lost track of the fact I wanted to make friends, and kind of when I first started university, I remember I had my socially anxiousness was like at its peak. It was super bad. And I lost track of the fact that like, okay, I'm a new student, I want to make friends. It started off as that, but then it slowly became like, I just want approval from anyone and everyone. Like anyone anyone that could give me attention and somewhat show that they liked me, I would be gagging for. And that could be something as simple as like, oh, like she held open the door for me, oh my gosh. Or like, oh my God, that guy was so nice to me in the queue at Sainsbury's, oh my gosh, like people like me. Or on your breaks when you're all getting like teas and coffees, someone offered me a coffee, like, oh my gosh, like any little sign that people were like a decent human being would be a sign that like, oh my God, I'm doing something good. And that's because like I lost complete track of what the actual aims were. It was no longer become a confident person, put yourself first, stop saying yes to anyone and everyone in the world and start saying yes to yourself. It was no longer that. It was now like, who can I get approval from? Who can validate me? Who can make me feel like I am good enough? Because obviously I couldn't do that for myself. My best advice would be, if you're someone that feels like you're going into these settings and you have an element of like you want to impress people, take a step back and really think like why is it you want to impress people? Is it really because you want to make friends, or is it more because it's actually become a bit of a different thing and it's now like you feel so insecure that you just need validation? Because that's what it became for me. Starting a conversation is just the beginning, really. Like if you think about it, there's the starting the conversation, then there's like the meat of the conversation, the deep convo, the back and forth, the chit chat, the banter, the getting along with each other. I talk about this a lot more in my You're Not Boring, You Just Like Conversational Skills video, which I'm going to link here. But let me know what you think. What video should I make next? I try to read every single comment, so I'm definitely gonna read it if you let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.